Oh, we're live.
07208. Yes, gotta go. All right, love you, bye.
All right, are we ready?
Ready?
I'm making this announcement in compliance with the Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231, Public Law 1975, Laws of the State of New Jersey. The Borough Clerk has prepared a schedule of the meetings of the governing body of the Borough of Kenilworth for the year 2020. The Borough Clerk has posted a true copy of this schedule on the bulletin board located at the front entrance of Borough Hall and has mailed true copies of this schedule to the local source, the Star Ledger, and the Home News Tribune, and is maintaining a copy of this schedule in her office during the year 2020. Accordingly, the notice requirements of the Open Public Meetings Act have been satisfied in regard to this meeting. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Councilwoman Cesari,
Here,
Councilman Clementi,
he's gotta unmute. Unmute your microphone.
The right corner.
Here.
Here you
Councilman David,
Here.
Councilman Ladati,
Here.
Councilman Lopez,
Here.
and Councilman Shelkey.
Here.
The public health emergency caused by coronavirus, the mayor and borough council meetings will conduct all council meetings remotely and by electronic means without providing a physical meeting place. Additionally, while the council will continue to meet on their regularly scheduled meeting dates, please note that the time for the work sessions has been changed to a new commencement time of 6 p.m. The regular council meeting will continue to commence as soon as possible after the work session. In accordance with NJSA 10:4-6, the Open Public Meetings Act, and in adherence to the Department of Community Affairs, Division of Local Government Services guidelines, the work session and the regular council meeting will be open to the public by electronic means. And as such, members of the public may view the meeting by live stream on Kenilworth TV NJ. Agendas will be posted for the public's viewing on the borough's official website at www.kenilworthnj.com. Any member of the public wishing to participate in the meeting can do so by emailing comments relative to the agenda and/or any government issue that public feels may be of concern to the residents of the borough of Kenilworth at boroughclerk@kenilworthnj.org. No later than noon, the corresponding meeting date, and as is always the case, must include the public member's full name and address and the topic to which comments are being referred for the record. All relevant comments received will be read into the record during each regular meeting's public comment portion and will be addressed accordingly. Mayor?
Thank you. Has everyone reviewed the consent agenda?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
We'll go into reports. I hope that we're all well. 5 weeks in, hopefully we are flattening the curve and that our lives can start to return to normal soon. It is with deep sadness that I report 95,865 cases of coronavirus in New Jersey, 10,484 cases in Union County, and 113 cases in Kenilworth. Please keep our residents whom are battling this virus in your thoughts, and especially the families who have lost loved ones. We have had 6 members of our community lose their lives to this terrible virus. They are our friends, our neighbors, and part of our Kenilworth family. On behalf of myself and the entire governing body, we send our deepest sympathy. We hope that knowing how much our community cares provides some comfort to all of you during this difficult time. Please practice self-care, check in on your family and your neighbors. Small acts of kindness go a long way to brighten someone's day. Now more than ever, they are needed by so many of us. Call-in number for Union County residents only for testing site appointments is 908-214-7107. The Tax and Finance Office has been advised that several individuals have either stopped in Borough Hall or called regarding the extension on our grace period for the second quarter taxes. While the state has refused to address this issue in a timely fashion, our office is seeking ways to offer some temporary relief to residents. Please take some time to fill out the census report. It is easy and can be done for the first time online at my2020census.com. Currently, Kenilworth is counted at 64.2%. This count is vital to our community. Census numbers determine how many representatives each state gets in Congress and how billions of federal funding gets spent. schools, roads, and other crucial community components will gain or lose money over the next 10 years, depending on this official tally. I urge everyone to please count yourself in. As always, I extend tremendous gratitude to our first responders, the heartbeat of our community, the ones that are there every day selflessly serving our community. I would also like to send a special shout out to Kristen and Pat Boyle, who worked so hard delivering Easter eggs to every family that requested, so that none of our kids had to go without our annual Easter egg hunt. Your presence and love for our community does not go unnoticed. We appreciate you both very much. Thank you for all the smiles and love you so openly give to all the children in our borough. Please do not forget to wear your mask or face covering while shopping in our stores or picking up takeout food. This is required by the governor's office for your safety and for the safety of others. This applies to everyone working in establishments as well. To all the residents of our amazing community, stay well, stay safe. This difficult time will pass. Brighter and better days are coming soon. Thank you. And I'll move to the finance report, Councilman Lopez.
Thank you, Mayor. Finance report. Finance and Tax Office continues to work remotely. They're meeting daily through Zoom conferencing. Know that we have received a lot of inquiries about the extending the grace period for our second quarter property taxes. Currently, only the state can make such legislative change. At this time, no such action has been taken by the state. However, the tax collector and CFO has proposed a change to our interest rate on delinquencies, reducing it to 0% to June 1st. Hopefully this can help. This is for the second quarter tax payments, only allowing taxpayers additional days to pay without additional interest or penalties. The resolution authorizing it is up to this dispute today. We're discussing it this evening. The Tax and Finance Office has been working off-site, so they're not going to be accepting any cash, no cash. So we encourage everyone to make their payment electronically for the second quarter. We're accrediting the $1.05 fee to process an e-check, electronic checking, to the third quarter. So it won't waive, but the service won't waive the fee, but it'll credit it towards to the next quarter tax payment. You can also pay through credit or debit card. That the service will not waive that fee of whatever it's 2.5%, 3% imposed to taxpayers. Therefore, we recommend using the e-check, which is a little bit more convenient and actually will save you some money. And we also offer the options of paying, of course, through check and money order. You can drop it off in the drop box, which is still open 24/7 days a week. The County Union of Taxation sent us a reminder that their portion of the municipal taxes is still due May 15th. So if we don't pay, the payments received after will be imposed with interest. So I wish everyone wealth and health and pandemic, but hopefully we get over soon. Thank you very much, Mayor.
Thank you very much. Department of Public Works.
Thank you, Mayor. Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right, a couple of things. DPW crews continue to work alternating work weeks as a precaution for the COVID-19 outbreak. It looks like still a lot of residents are not aware that the bulk collection was postponed. Always DPW will contact us when they can reschedule. So as of now, there's no bulk collection throughout the town. So anyone that has stuff put out at the curb must bring it back onto their property. It will not be picked up. When we have a date, we will post it on the Kennewick Borough website, on both the homepage and the Public Works page. The Recycle Coach app tap into Kennewick on Facebook, and we will do a swift 911 call. When residents do call the DPW for bulk collection, they are encouraging them to sign up for the Swift 911 and to download the Recycle Coach app to ensure they get these notifications. Vegetative waste continues to be collected on Wednesdays. The DPW begins collection on Wednesday and continues until it's complete, which sometimes goes into Thursday. Please remind residents to only put out vegetative waste. No dirt or rocks will be collected. And they are still providing 24-hour emergency sewer services. And that's all I have.
Okay, thank you, Councilman David.
Good to have you back, Mark.
Oh, thank you. It's good to be back.
Yeah, welcome back.
Let- Feeling better.
I am one of the Kenilworth residents that actually had the coronavirus. So I will tell you this, it's not a pretty thing. It's not enjoyable at all. And it's pretty hard to get tested for. So all these claims that you can go get tested and all these places you can go, when you call up and you try to go there, none of them want to give you the test. So I'm just going to put that out there.
Okay. Well, we're glad you're feeling better, for
Yeah.
sure. Okay, Department of Public Safety, Councilman Clancy.
Thank you, Mayor. I got the Chief Zimmerman's report for the month of April. I'll just hit the highlights now and I'll read more into the record later on. But the Kennel Police Department on-site evaluation for reaccreditation was held on April 9th and 10th. Due to the circumstances here, they can't do an on-site visit, but once they're able to, they're going to come out and do that and get the accreditation that they need. The Kenilworth Police, Fire, and Rec have been regularly partaking in the drive-bys for residents dealing with, both happy and sad occasions during the difficult time. So that's always a good thing. The chief is asking for everyone to do their part and dispose their latex gloves and masks in trash receptacles. Town and the Acme parking lot, which seems to be the most littered area. And he wants to pass on to Kenilworth Police Department sincere gratitude and appreciation for everyone's support in the town for our first responders. And also special thanks and appreciation from the chief and the Kenilworth Police Department to everyone that has sent supplies and food to our office. Thank you for that. Also, maybe you've seen us on Facebook, but a group of volunteers from Kenilworth are starting up a flag for Kenilworth. And FLAG stands for Frontline Appreciation Group. They're modeling Cranford's Township's flag, and they're soliciting funds from the residents and businesses through social media. They're trying to raise food for first responders and healthcare workers with, food, drinks, and supplies. And that's what I have for now, Mayor. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Department of Planning and Zoning, Councilman Shelby.
Thank you, Mayor. The Planning and Zoning and Construction Report for April 22nd. The Zoning and Construction Office had been operational during this pandemic time with staff working from home. Beginning this week, we started having employees back in the office on a rotating basis. Anna is coming in Monday and Tuesday, and Ellen covers the office Wednesday through Friday. There have been many inquiries about the Blackthorn property, so I want to give a little update on what's going on there. To date, it's our understanding that the property was purchased by a crane manufacturer and sales operation. A week or so ago, a construction fence was placed around the property and demolition of the deck and other ancillary structures began. Unfortunately, there was no demolition permit applied for, so the borough has placed a stop work order on the site until the proper permits are obtained. As of the beginning of this week, there was no application that was received for that. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you very much.
Quick question for, there's a thing about permanent cosmetics in town, and they have to be a separate building. I don't know if the planning board's come across anything like that. Have they set up for some permits?
I'm not sure what you're referring to, Jerry.
They're-
Permanent Cosmetics?
Yeah, they're trying to put, it's like a tattoo parlor, but it's called permanent. It's called permanent tattooing, really, where women have their eyebrows put in and whatever they need done. And from the health department, they were telling us that we have to have, it can't be in the same building that maybe a beauty parlor is or something. It's got to be a separate entity, a separate building. And I think they were looking for some permits or trying to apply for them.
Nothing has come before the planning board that, that I'm aware of, and I just checked yesterday, so nothing's come before the planning board, and, if it was just a regular zoning permit that was put in, I'll have to check into that and get back to you.
Okay, I'll be with the health department tomorrow night, so
They would
I'll
have to
get
go
back
through
to you
them,
on that.
so yeah, see what they have too.
Yeah.
Very good.
thank you.
Excellent. Okay, Recreation and Fire, Councilwoman Tsiri.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm going to start with fire first. Our first responders have done an awesome job. They are right on top of everything. They have a crew that stays there overnight. These girls are working night and day, and they're volunteers. They're just absolutely wonderful. I think in the future, what we should, maybe think of doing is recognizing them, later on in council, sometime down the line after all this is over, but they have been doing one of the best jobs ever. And to be honest with you, nobody has tested positive on our rescue squad. And they're the first to go on to everything.
That's pretty amazing.
Yeah, it really is. It really, I mean, in the beginning, a couple people had a quarantine, but it wasn't, it was just a quarantine. They didn't know, whether they were going to get it or they were just affected.
Right.
But whatever it was, it was. So they've been doing a bang up job, really, really well. I spoke to the chief, Chief Kruger, and he has said we have 2 certified volunteer firemen from different towns, and they are certified. However, he needs to know how now we can do the background checks and the physicals, because well, the police department does the background checks, but the physicals is a different story because of all that's going on. So he wanted to know if, we could take this to like like a care station, or can they go to their own doctor? Because Dr. Gresty, who is our town, who the police department and the fire department go to for,
Yeah, Gresty.
yeah, he's closed and has been. I don't know if he closed down permanently or if he will be doing that, but he's closed as of now. So that's something he would need to know an answer to. How could we do how are we going to go do the background checks and pretty much the physicals, because he wants to get these 2 volunteers on. We're lucky to even have a swap at them, to be honest. People don't volunteer in times like this, as a matter of fact. I mean, they go the other way, but it's great to have 2 certifieds already. They've both served as volunteer firemen in, I don't know, one town was Cranford. I don't know what the other town was, but they're both certified for fire. The what do you call it? The classes have been stopped. So all the up and coming, fire department training that was being done has been stopped as of now. So, Chief Kruger is very, very, positive of getting 2 certifieds on that want to join. And what we would need to address would be how to do the background and physicals in this time.
Councilwoman, if I may,
yes,
have Chief
please.
Kruger give me a call tomorrow.
Okay.
And I'm sure we can come to, we can find a solution on that.
Okay. Okay. He did also mention with the fundraising now, this is going to be because everything's up in the air. Nobody knows what's going on. Their first fundraiser, they canceled it. Which they do, for the rescue squad, they do the mailers, and they, stopped it because of what's going on. The second is now the carnival. The problem with that is we don't know yet what's going to happen, whether we're going to be able to have it or not. The date's already booked, but that's their biggest fundraiser. And their third fundraiser would be the fire department mailers. And that's That's way in the future. That's more towards the end of the year. However, it's the carnival that, we're looking at, and everything's, it's booked, but if we can't go on with it, we lose it. And that's their biggest fundraiser. So, he's trying to keep, the budget at bay, not adding to it. And with all this going on, their fundraisers are going to be affected. So I just, want you to be aware of that. Let's see. That's, I think, all I have for fire. And for rec, the Easter egg hunt, we distributed 95 families with 108 children, and each received like 15 eggs. So they were all able to do their thing on Easter morning. The Easter bunny, oh, that's what I wanted to go back to. The fire department had the Easter bunny drive on the fire engine around town, visiting people, which was it was a nice thing. It was, it broke up the monotony, which, by the way, they're also doing the drive arounds with birthdays and stuff like that, where people had to cancel big events. And also I'm sorry, I got to go back to the fire department again. It's a big shout out and a big thank you. They have gotten so much food and deliveries, and people are just donating and just giving because they're doing such a great job. So I just want them to be acknowledged for that. They're really out and about doing what they have to do. That's all I have for fire. That's all I have for rec. I do have one thing just to say. I received an email from a resident, and this was a while ago. It was about, I don't know, 2 weeks ago, 10 days ago. And she suggested maybe a group of people that are living together who are out walking around, maybe they could wear like a band on their arm. This way people are supposed to be reporting the social distancing, but if they're in the same group and they're all living together, she suggested maybe wear a band around your arm, or a hat, all the same hats or something like that, so that, people know that they're together. They're a family. They're doing what they're doing as far as the social distancing goes, because, you're supposed to report people who are not. And I mean, I don't know how far some people take it, but it is, I have seen a lot of people. I am out walking all the time, and I've seen a lot of people, and some people just don't social distance, and it's not good. They really need to keep that at least 6 feet apart, because,
Councilwoman, if I may, the borough attorney just indicated to me that the governor's executive order preempts any local modification of the executive order. So we wouldn't be able to tell people that they would have to identify themselves.
Okay. All right. I wrote back to her and I said, I will bring it up and see what happens. And
The borough attorney further says that he wishes we could do something like that, but unfortunately at this time, that's not something that's within our purview.
understood. I totally understand. And like I said, I said I would bring it up, talk to the people that, the borough attorney and the clerk, because they would know. So we have our answer.
Okay, something sooner than the carnival is 4th of July.
And
Is there
also
any
a street
talking?
fair. That was the
Yeah.
street fair too. Usually is in May now.
That's right.
But we can't do anything.
May's gonna be
We don't
tough.
know. We
But
don't
4th
know.
of July, maybe we come up with something.
I think we have to just go, I guess, whenever we meet week by week, however things are, presented to us, we have to follow protocol. So, the carnival's a big fundraiser. The 4th of July is a fun thing. The town does that.
A lot of people.
And the street fair is another thing, but that's usually like the beginning of May, and I don't foresee that happening. I don't think anybody does.
No, not at all.
So
Well, maybe we could think about moving it to October like we used to have it in the fall. I mean, I don't know if
An
that's,
Oktoberfest again.
It's not a bad
Yeah.
idea. It's not a bad idea at all because
Good, Larry.
that may be a time where
Yeah, we'll
things
be back to
will
normal.
have been settled down.
Mhm.
So, all right, I, let me just look over my notes and for fire, that's all I have. For rec, that's all I have. Residents, that's all I have. And I am done. Thank you, Mayor.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
welcome.
Health, Education, and Welfare, Councilman Ladati.
Okay, thank you, Mayor. First of all, the budget on the school is going to be voted on April 26th. Mayor, did you get a copy of the budget yet
From the
for
school?
review? Yeah.
Did not.
Okay, how about Laura? Have you?
No.
Or Joe? I know we always, budget copy gets to the council.
No.
Okay, so we're, I just worry we're gonna have a budget being voted on with nobody knowing a lot about it except for the Board of Ed. That's number one. Still, in the schools, they don't know when they're gonna reopen. I think the governor was mentioning May 15th, but I don't see that happening. Okay, the seniors, Meals on Wheels. I followed through that again today, and it really says congregate sites are still closed until further notice. But if you need home delivery, you can call 908-486-5100. And I called them today and asked about deliveries. And I told them I was from Kenilworth, and they said, yeah, no problem with deliveries. Just let us know who needs them. So Laura, I don't know if you're gonna follow through tomorrow. So maybe we can see what's going on, because we get the Meals on Wheels going here. The other one is the paratransit. Only life-sustaining transit will be provided, until further notice. So Mark, you could have got them. The homeless. You need to call social services. If you're either the homeless person, which I doubt you have a phone, but if you're someone in the neighborhood or someone's seeing them, you call 908-965-2700 or dial 211, and social services will pick up and try to help us out there. Okay, the library is still the same. No changes. I know Lorraine the director sent a letter out to everyone talking about what we mentioned at our last meeting about no fees, about getting books from the library virtually. So that's still the same. Again, a review for the health department, review of the state regs for permanent cosmetic regulations. Because people want to open the stores, and I'll get more information on that tomorrow. Big problem is the stores in town. We may think so, but they're not following regulations. They're handling food without gloves. They're allowing many people in the stores at one time. So the health department's been there and, giving them a violation for doing that. So we got to make sure that they continue that. And our store owners, just because they're on the store and they've been here forever, it doesn't give them that right to do the wrong thing. And that's all I have.
I have a question, Jerry.
Yeah.
If schools should open, and that's the big if, summer camp, will summer camp be able to be held, or if school stays closed, do we lose summer camp?
I think if the school stays closed, you're going to lose summer camp. Just on the principal side of it, I don't think they'll have both open. I think they can have both open, but not both closed, or one closed, one open, because that's really the governor's call, and I think that's what everybody's waiting for.
Okay.
I think it may be the same thing as the daycare centers. Only essential workers are being allowed to go to the daycare centers in town. So again, they're still regulating us.
So in other
That's a
words,
hard choice with summer school. I mean, for your camp. And
yeah,
that's something everybody looks forward to. But I hate to have someone sick. You know, just like our seniors, we stopped them. And I think our senior population did well during this. You know, even though they came in and complained and everything, we did okay. And I think we still got to continue that as a council.
okay.
And you're right about the social separation. I live on the boulevard but it's a mess. You know, sometimes I have to yell out my door, separation. But
It is.
very, very, people they just don't care, you know, and to everybody on the board, on the council right now, you have a neighbor that needs anything, check on them, call them. I have 2 neighbors that I call every couple of days to see if they need anything. And I did one, and the only thing she needed was lottery tickets. So I thought I'd give her some food.
Not
That's
non-essential.
all I had.
Non-essential.
Yeah, not essential. Lottery tickets,
Wow.
you know, so
All right. So in other words, if
thank you,
the
Mayor. Thank
schools
you,
never
everyone.
reopen, then summer camps, that's a bust then.
You know what? I'll go actually look for it tomorrow at the health department meeting.
All right. It's just,
They may have some
food for thought.
suggestions.
because I mean, we don't know where we're going to be by then anyway. So, but I just,
Exactly.
you know,
What do you got? 2 months yet, right?
mhm. Yeah.
Maybe you can take registration and all that,
Well,
you know, because you do it on the internet.
correct is that they are setting everything up as far as, you know, there are counselors and everything, but, you know, yet to be seen. They're going to have things in place,
Yeah.
they
Do
don't
we
know.
provide lunch for them?
in action. I'm sorry,
Do we provide lunch
No,
during the camp?
at the camp? No.
Okay, they have to bring their own. Okay.
Mayor,
All
if
right. Thank you, everyone.
on the county calls that there are some towns that have indicated that they have already canceled summer camp. The majority of the towns, however, are holding out to wait for guidance from the governor's office.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Okay, is that it? Okay, moving along, Borough Engineer, see here, Tony Gallerano. Hello. Oh, he's muted. Tony, if you can hear me, you're muted.
Okay,
You cannot
how
hear
about
me.
now?
You're good.
Okay, we can hear you.
Good.
Okay, hey, everyone. I just have a couple of items. First thing is, we're putting out to bid the recreation building renovations, which is part of the Recreation Trust Fund grant that the borough received. The work's going to entail refurbishing the exterior walls, replacing the windows, repainting the interior back portion, and replacing the ceiling tiles in the back portion of the rec building. That'll pretty much bring that building up to speed as far as renovations. As you know, there's been ongoing work going on there over the years. The bids are going to be advertised April 30th. We're going to take the bids on May 21st. Hopefully, by the time we collect the bids, get the bonds, get everything in order, we'll get back to work. We can actually start the work. But worst case, if we have to take the bids, we can hold them until such time that the restrictions lifted on the construction work. The gas, as you notice, the gas company has been back out doing work. Unfortunately, they can only do main work. They can't do the service connections because they can't get into the houses. Ironically, they got an early jump this year because of the mild winter, and then they got started and kind of got partially shut down. The implications to the borough is that it's going to, again, delay repaving of the roads because they're not going to be able to repave till they're completely finished. They are going to do, over the next couple of weeks, they are going to start doing some of the paving that was related to work that they finished last year. Those roads are going to be South 19th through South 23rd, parts of Newark Avenue, and part of Quinton Avenue and part of Richfield Avenue, because that work is complete. So they'll start doing that over the next couple of weeks, and then the remaining paving is obviously gonna have to be deferred until they finish the service connections, whenever they can get back into the houses. And then, lastly, I know after last meeting, after I left, there's a question about the drainage situation on the end of Tulip Court. As you know, those two catch basins on the cul-de-sac are actually seepage pits. They are dry wells. They don't actually connect to anything. And I guess there's been some issues with those overflowing recently. DPW went out, cleaned them out a couple of weeks ago. So apparently there still might be some issues. The only thing I can add is that this time of year, like March, April, May, is when your groundwater is at its highest. So maybe it's a situation when the groundwater is high, the seepage pits aren't working as well. If you wanted to pursue that, it would be kind of similar to what we did on the end of South 18th Street. If you wanted to look into an improvement, we first have to evaluate the soils to see if we can expand that infiltration system, which would entail taking soil samples, determining the permeability, determining the seasonal high water, and see if it's feasible to expand that system. But there's a cost to the testing, and obviously there would be a cost to the actual work if we determine that we can expand that system. So as far as we know right now, they've been cleaned out. We can see what happens as we get past this, seasonal high water table season, as we get into May, June, and see if they start functioning better. But if you wanted to pursue it, I could get some costs to do the soil testing, if that's something you wanted to look at. And that's all I have. Any questions?
Tony, I got a
off the
question.
top of your- Go ahead.
Tony, you were talking about the gas company, with paving and stuff. I thought that 21st Street was completed because that road's a mess.
Yeah, 21st Street is going to be done. That's going to be actually done full width because that was paved within the last 5 years. So
Right.
they're going to work on South 19th, South 20th, 21st, 22nd, 23rd. Obviously south of the boulevard to the Cranford line. Then they're going to continue, actually, they are going to continue from South 21st down Orange into Cranford. So that road will continue to be paved. They're not just going to stop at the town line. And then there is part of Quinton between Orange Avenue and 25th Street that's been completed. And Ridgefield Avenue from 23rd to the dead end is completed. So they can do those roads now. All the remaining work that you see going on along North Passaic, Quinton, Ridgefield, Summit, and Trenton, they put the mains in, but they can't do the service connections because they're restricted to going into the home. So hopefully they'll get those done and we can get that paved by the end of the year and not have to then continue that paving into next year. So.
Yeah, I'm just concerned with 21st Street because it's a major thoroughfare. It's terrible.
Yeah, that should be done within the next 2 weeks. Their plan was actually start milling this Friday. I think it's going to rain all day, so probably next week. But for the amount of roads that they're doing now, it's probably about 2 weeks worth of work or less. So within the next 2 weeks, you'll see those roads done, and then there'll be a delay, obviously, till they can finish up, and hopefully we get it done by the end of the year and not have to continue this into next spring.
Great, thanks.
Okay.
There was some
Yeah,
other
Mark-
questions.
Mark had a question on Tulip, and then I'll go.
Sure.
Yeah, on Tulip Court, this is the first I'm hearing that they have a flood issue down there. So it's kind of like we still haven't solved the problem on South 18th Street yet. So,
Right.
So why we weren't at Tulip Court? Is this like a one-time complaint?
There was some complaints, I guess, started about a month ago that I don't know if it was serious. I didn't see the flooding myself, but there were complaints to DPW about that the inlets were overflowing. So DPW went and cleaned them out. Apparently there's still some issue. I did go out during a couple of rain events. It didn't look terrible. I mean, you can see they weren't functioning 100%, but it wasn't anything to the extent that we're seeing on South 18th Street. So, it's been, those seepage pits have been there for quite a while. I mean, it's not like they were just put in there. So, again, it could just be the time of year. The groundwater is a little bit high. They might not be functioning, at 100%.
Yeah, no, I hear you, but if they cleaned them out, that should work. But I'd rather see the other place that we need to get fixed, because that definitely is flooding, and somebody's house is gonna get flooded out there. We gotta get that one done, and it's still not done, so we gotta get working on this.
Well, I agree. And we did, we put that into the budget, or we recommended it for the budget as a capital improvement project. So, if you approve the budget for South 18th Street, it's all designed, it's ready to go. It just needs to be funded. We can put that out to bid. So I agree I would agree that should be the priority. Get South 18th Street done first, before looking at Tulip.
Yeah, I mean, the next time it rains really bad, I'll take a ride down to Tulip and see what the big complaint is, but
I go every
I've never heard.
time it rains,
flooding.
Mark.
If I may, the issue at Tulip Court is the seepage. They're not seeping. The residents were complaining that it was filling up with water all summer, and it was causing a stench and mosquitoes in the area. There was just water that just sat there. It was just still water that wasn't seeping anywhere last summer. That's the issue. It's not that it's flooding, it's just that it's not seeping.
Again, that could be a function of the time of year. We could certainly monitor it over the next couple of months and see what's going on. I did go out there during a couple of rainstorms, and I did see that, they weren't really seeping as well as they should, but it wasn't as if the whole cul-de-sac was flooded, so.
Right, no flooding. They weren't complaining about flooding. You said that it stays full.
It stays there.
And it just sits there, and it stinks, creates a stench in the area, and mosquitoes, they said. That was a big issue for them.
Okay,
So
We'll continue to monitor it over the next couple of months and see, if it gets better as the groundwater drops, so.
yeah, to be fair, this did come up a year or so ago.
Yeah.
Tony, it came up when we were looking at a house on Tulip that was before the planning board court for a front porch. We looked at it back then, we realized that it was seepage pits and there was really nothing we could do. And we were focused on South 18th Street, like Councilman David mentioned. Hey, Dan, I'll tell you what, Councilman David and I, we drive around a lot during rainstorms and other times. So I'll give you a shout before we go out sometimes. And on a good summer day, we'll take a ride past there and see exactly what the situation is together. And then we could form a plan going forward. I certainly don't foresee that we have any money for that this year, but we can at least put it on the radar and start checking into it.
Great.
Okay, and if you're going out, if you want to give me a call, I'd be more than happy to join you when you go out there.
Will do, Tom.
Okay, great.
If I may, is everybody, because I'm changing the subject, just it's 16th Street.
Yep.
The sprinklers, are they on a timer or are they just set off when, because they keep going, like when it's raining, they still go afterwards, and we're still having the flooding in some parts. I don't know what, I've been trying to watch to see if they are on a timer or not, but I can't really tell.
They're supposed to be on, they should be on a timer, and there's a rain sensor which should be, telling the sprinklers not to turn on, if it's raining or within a certain amount of time after it rains. I'll have to look into that and see how maybe it's just the setting's not right.
Yeah, because it's just, it seems to be adding to what we're trying to get rid of.
Yep.
Yeah,
We've been monitoring. Yeah, we've been monitoring the grading. I know it does pond a little bit when it rains, but it seems like they've got it where it does drain relatively quick.
It does, yeah. I've
Yeah,
noticed that.
they've definitely improved it. We just got to get, it's just got to get through this growing season and get the grass to start thickening up and growing. So, but I'll check with, I'm not sure if the contractor set it and left or if he turned it over to the rep, people to run. So I'll look into it, find out who's monitoring it and who's controlling it.
Where I noticed it mostly was yesterday, where the sun came out and then it poured, and then the sun came out and then it poured again. In the times the sun was out, the sprinklers were on, but the ground was already saturated because the rain was horrendous yesterday. So
Yeah, the sensor should be controlling that. And then the sprinklers really should be on early in the morning before, early sunrise. They really shouldn't be sprinkling, during the afternoon. So
Yeah,
I'll
they're
make
on
sure.
pretty much, well, all day long, on and off.
Yeah,
so.
no, that's not right. I'll check, see who's controlling that, and we'll get it fixed.
Okay, thank you.
Great, thank you.
All right. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Okay, take care.
Borough CFO, Mr. DiIorio.
Sorry about that. Yes, Mayor and Council. First off, tonight you do have a resolution, as Councilman Lopez mentioned, resolution that would allow the interest rate to revert back to 0% for a period of time
Excellent.
till June 1st. Working with the borough attorney, our tax collector, and our administrator, we did put in a provision in the resolution that allows us to make the final determination whether to enact the resolution based on two basic matters. One, cash flow, and basically the last week of April, historically, we receive our biggest checks from Merck, from our escrow companies. If that happens, like it has been happening over the last several years, we will have the cash flow to carry us through a June 1st date. The other provision that we put in there was a legal one, worked on with our borough attorney, that would allow us to make a decision based on input from the Division of Local Government Services, Department of Community Affairs. If for some reason they change their mindset and actually give us an opinion, we would then not proceed ahead with the resolution. So while we are hopeful that this will help some of the residents in the borough, and I will say we are getting questions by phone. We even had some folks come in and just as they're putting their tax payments in, we were there and they asked questions about an extension. I would not officially publicize it or let the residents know now that it doesn't become effective until at least May 1st. So watch the website. If we do proceed ahead, it will be posted there. But right now, we're still waiting for monies to come in through taxes, so we can pay our county bill and our school bill, because they want their money on time. They're not giving any extension.
Don't give it to them.
well, I don't want to get an interest
It's
bill
a-
like.
6% interest per day or something.
Yeah, they whack us with sizable
Yeah.
interest because they're a big payment. And two, if we do hear something from the state, it gives us the ability to pull out. So just hang tight. I think it's the right thing that you all want to do for the residents, and I think it will go a long way to help some of them at this point.
Thank you.
All right. Secondly, the municipal budget. My apologies. We've been back and forth with our auditors, making sure that our numbers agree. And today, everything has been reconciled. Tomorrow, I'll be meeting with Bill Swisher from our auditing firm virtually. He has all the revenue numbers reconciled. I have all the expense numbers. So I am very hopeful that tomorrow we'll have that number. We'll also have our surplus number tomorrow. But it's been kind of difficult over the last couple of weeks, just trying to get everyone together and tie in. So I do want to give props out to Lisa, who's been working feverishly with our auditors to respond to their questions. So we're so glad to have her on board with us. FEMA, because the federal government made the borough of Kenilworth and the municipalities in New Jersey eligible for FEMA funds, I gave some guidance to the departments on best practices to identify COVID-related expenses, not only things that we buy, but time that we spend, whether it's paid employees or volunteers. I'm happy to say that it seems to be working. If the chief is there, Captain Seuss has been doing a great job. We worked on a spreadsheet together. It's really coming together nicely. What'll happen in a year or two when FEMA finally gets around to going to each municipality, they'll be asking us for information on what we've spent and how much time we've placed towards COVID-related activities. My experience has told me that if you have the details, you'll end up getting more monies reimbursed. So I think this will help us when we get to that point. And lastly, I heard some comments regarding the recreation registrations. Just a heads up, if recreation does proceed ahead and opens registration, in order to give refunds back, that has to be done by resolution and vouchers have to be issued. So if they're looking to cancel anything, whether it's spring or summer, just let me know before they start, reversing those credit card payments back. There is a process.
I don't know necessarily if they're going to be taking fees for summer camp, or I think what they're doing right now is just trying to set up the counselors and just getting them ready to
Gotcha.
go if we're gonna go.
All
I
right.
don't believe registration has been opened or is going to open until we know. So,
That's good.
yeah, I'll.
Yeah, just give Kristen a heads up.
Mhm.
If you hear anything or she hears anything, just let me know.
Okay, will do. Thank you,
And
Joe.
that concludes my report.
Thank you. Okay, Borough Attorney, Mr. Capis.
Mayor, just very, very briefly. The other day I was in a conversation with the council president and I quoted to him an old law school prof I had who used to say that the problems that you solve before they start, that's smart. And this is following up on what Councilman Chilke said, permitting. What they did with Blackthorn was, I guess the term is proactive. And that's a big deal for our town. More importantly for me, I was very concerned about the Sunoco station. You pass by and you see a massive amount of work being done there. Well, it turns out that not only did they get all the permitting, but O'Brien and the rest of the team there were on top of that. So I know we're all involved now with the CD19, it's a huge problem, but I was very impressed with the way the permitting they're on top of that. And in the long run, what did Barney Fife say? That nips it in the bud. And I just wanted to pass that on to you, Mayor. It was good news.
Good news. Thank you.
Who's Barney Five? Make him feel old.
Borough Clerk.
Hello, Mayor and Council. I do have a little bit of normal business. I have another tree application for removal. It's at 51 Arthur Terrace. DPW has gone out and made an assessment. The tree is healthy. The resident wants to remove the tree at his cost because he's looking at installing a new driveway. Does anybody have any issue with that, or can I approve it? It would be a removal at his cost.
I'm in favor of that.
I'm good.
Yeah, I'm good.
Shilke's good.
Okay, firstly, I'd like to wish everyone a happy Administrative Professionals Day. On that note, I'd like to thank everybody that's been coming in. I had been looking into instituting specific hours for specific departments. However, that proved to be unnecessary. The staff has taken it upon themselves to come in. Those that can work from home have been, and they have been doing so diligently. Others that have not been able to, much like the building department, as Councilman Schulke referred to earlier, they have volunteered to come in and make sure the wheels keep turning. And the building department in particular, they have not stopped. That's essential work. So they have been coming in. Everybody's been tremendous with that. So I just wanted to thank everyone for that. Also, I heard from the Rotary. The Rotary is going to be providing meal packets to families in need. What the packet's going to consist of is enough food to make 6 meals. And I believe they're going to be making those deliveries weekly. Any packets that are not delivered or that go unspoken for will be delivered to St. Therese to the food pantry. And I will follow up with the county program for Meals on Wheels. And I believe that's all I have.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Okay, I'd like to make a motion to open the floor to the public.
So moved.
Second.
A motion made by Councilman Ladati and seconded by Councilman Cesari.
Mayor, at this time, in accordance with the protocols for COVID, any public input was supposed to begin by noon today as advertised. I have not received any public portion for the work session.
Okay, thank you. So I'd like to make a motion to close the meeting for public discussion.
So moved.
So moved.
Motion
Whatever.
made by Councilman Wasatch. And seconded by Councilman Clementi. Okay, does anybody have anything else to add?
Mayor, real
Yes.
quick. I have a lot of people walking on the boulevard, in
Mhm.
front of my house and on the sidewalk. We have 2 blocks that have not been fixed yet. I sit in my window and watch people trip all day, over these 2 blocks because there's a tree there. I was wondering if maybe the police put yellow, the yellow tape around those 2 blocks or a cone,
We can have
something to say,
Borough
you can't.
engineer take a look at the sidewalks. If you write down the addresses,
I will.
go take a look. Okay,
Okay.
excellent. Anyone else have anything to add? Okay. If there's nothing else to be brought before the borough, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
A motion made by Councilman Siri and seconded by Councilman Lopez, was it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay.
When do we start?
Mayor, if we could just have a moment so I can get the deputy clerk in here so she can start the recorder.
That'd be good. I get a coffee.
She's coming.
Mhm. You wanna, I'm gonna. You want- Well, you to wait.
Yeah. Make me a coffee. You know how to black.
Mhm.
Mayor, we're ready to roll.
Okay. I'm making this announcement in compliance with the Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231, Public Law 1975, Laws of the State of New Jersey. The Borough Clerk has prepared a schedule of the meetings of the governing body of the Borough of Kenilworth for the year 2020. The Borough Clerk has posted a true copy of this schedule on the bulletin board located in the front entrance of Borough Hall and has mailed true copies of this schedule to the local source, the Star Ledger, and the Home News Tribune. Is maintaining a copy of this schedule in her office during the year 2020. Accordingly, the notice requirements of the Open Public Meetings Act have been satisfied in regard to this meeting. Please stand for the salute to the flag. I pledge allegiance
To
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic
which
for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty, and justice for all. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Councilwoman Cesari? Councilwoman Cesari?
Here? I was muted, I'm sorry.
Councilman Clementi?
Here.
Councilman David? I'm sorry, Councilman David?
Here.
Councilman Ladati?
Here.
Councilman Lopez?
Here.
And Councilman Shelkey.
Here.
All are present.
Thank you. Can I have a motion to accept the minutes of the regular council meeting of March 11, 2020, March 25th, 2020, and April 8th, 2020.
So moved.
Second,
Motion made by Councilman Lodati, seconded by Councilman Clementi. All in favor?
Aye.
Various advisories were received from the New Jersey State League of Municipalities, and a letter pertaining to the county economic development participation for fiscal year 2021 through 2023 was received.
Okay, I'd like a motion to accept communications and reports.
So moved. Second,
Uh,
Mark and Jerry.
Motion made by Councilman Lodati and seconded by Councilman David. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Thank you. I hope that you are all well. 5 weeks in, hopefully we are flattening the curve and that our lives can start to return to normal soon. It is with deep sadness that I report 95,865 cases of COVID-19 in New Jersey, 10,484 cases in Union County, and 113 cases in Kenilworth. Please keep our residents who are battling this virus in your thoughts, and especially the families who have lost loved ones. We have had 6 members of our community lose their lives to this terrible virus. They are our friends, our neighbors, and part of our Kenilworth family. On behalf of myself and the entire governing body, we send our deepest sympathy. We hope that knowing how much our community cares provides some comfort to you during this time. Please practice self-care, check in on your family, your neighbors. Small acts of kindness go a long way to brighten someone's day, and now more than ever, they are needed by so many of us. Call in the call number for Union County residents only for the testing site appointments is 908-214-7107. The Tax and Finance Office has been advised that several individuals have either stopped in Borough Hall or called regarding the extension on our grace period for the second quarter taxes. While the state has refused to address this issue in a timely fashion, our office is seeking ways to offer some temporary relief to our residents. Thank you. Please take some time to fill out the census report. It is easy and can be done for the first time online at my2020census.com. Currently, Kenilworth is counted at 64.2%. This count is vital to our community. Census numbers determine how many representatives each state gets in Congress and how billions of federal dollars get spent. Schools, roads, and other crucial community components will gain or lose money over the next 10 years, depending on this official population tally. I urge everyone to please count yourself in. As always, I extend tremendous gratitude to our first responders, the heartbeat of our community, the ones that are there every day selflessly serving our community. I would like to also send a special shout out to Kristen and Pat Boyle, who worked so hard delivering Easter eggs to every family that requested, so that none of our kids had to go without our annual Easter egg hunt. Your presence and love for our community does not go unnoticed. We appreciate you both very much. Thank you for all the smiles and love you so openly give to all the children in our borough. Please do not forget your mask or face covering while shopping in our stores or picking up takeout food. This is required by the governor's office for your safety and for the safety of others. This applies to everyone working in establishments and stores along the boulevard. To all the residents of our amazing community, stay well and stay safe. This difficult time shall pass. Brighter and better days are coming soon. Thank you very much. I'll move to the finance report. Councilman Lopez.
Thank you, Mayor. The Finance and Tax Office continues to work remotely during the state of emergency. The staff meets once a day through Zoom conferencing and includes various departments as needed. We have received these small inquiries about the Borough of Kenilworth extending the grace period for the second quarter property taxes. Currently, only the state can make such change. At this time, No such action has been taken. They haven't made any decisions, as you have stated. However, the tax collector and the CFO has proposed a change to our interest rate, reducing it to 0% until June 1st for the second quarter tax payment allowed. This is allowing tax payers additional days to pay without additional interest or penalties. We have a resolution which we'll be discussing tonight, this evening on that case here. The Tax and Finance Office has been working off-site, so they're not accepting any cash during this time. They encourage payments to be made electronically for the second quarter through e-check. They will credit the $1.05 fee to the next third quarter payment. That can be done through. But however, if you want to make payment through credit card or debit card, they cannot cancel that fee, which is 2.5% to 3% imposed on taxpayers. Therefore, we recommend that our taxpayers use the e-check, which gives you a little break. We also offer the options, of course, to pay money order or check. You can drop it off or mail it in 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, as you choose. The tax office, the county office actually of taxation has sent us a reminder that their portion of their municipal tax is still due May 15th. They still want their money, so we still have to make the payment. If not, they will impose interest on us. So thank you very much, Mayor. I hope everything helps, and I hope everyone is well. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Lopez. Department of Public Works, Councilman David.
Thank you, Mayor. Couple things. As most residents are aware, a lot aren't. The bulk collection was postponed for the month of April. No new date has been rescheduled yet. When one is, it'll be posted on the borough website, on both the homepage and Public Works page, and Recycle Coach app.tap into Kenilworth on Facebook, and the DPW will do a swift 911 call. The DPW is every Wednesday collecting the vegetative waste. It needs to be put out at the curb. Sometimes it goes into Thursday, so if it doesn't get picked up on Wednesday, it'll get picked up on Thursday. Just put the vegetative waste out. No dirt or rocks will be collected. They're still going out there and doing emergency sewer services, and they're still doing regular garbage collection on time. And that's all I got.
Thank you, Councilman David. Department of Public Safety, Councilman Clementi.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm in receipt of Chief Zimmerman's report for April. You want me to pass along a couple items. The Kenilworth Police Department's on-site evaluation for reaccreditation was held on April 9th and 10th. The Kenilworth Police Department completed the reaccreditation led by Sergeant Michael Scaniello and is being recommended by the assessors for the reaccreditation by New Jersey State Association of Chiefs of Police. And that'll be done at a future date physically when it's safe to come in into the building and do their thing. The Kenilworth Police, Kenilworth Fire Department and Rescue Squad have been regularly partaking in drive-bys for residents, dealing with both happy and sad occasions during a difficult time, and that will continue. Chief Zimmerman is asking everyone to do their part and please dispose of latex gloves and masks in trash receptacles, especially in the center of town and in the Acme parking lot, where it seems to be a problem. He also wishes to pass on the Kenilworth Police Department's sincere gratitude and appreciation for everyone's support in town for all of our first responders. Special thanks and appreciation from the chief and the Kenilworth Police Department to everyone that has sent supplies and food to our officers. And as of today, there's still, our officers have not been contacted or contracted the COVID-19. So, and that's due to the chief and the captain's rescheduling format, which seems to be very helpful. The chief also mentioned that, you might have seen this on Facebook as well, a group of volunteers from Kenilworth are starting up a flag, FLAG for Kenilworth, and that stands for Frontline Appreciation Group. They are modeling the Cranford Township's flag and will be soliciting funds from Kenilworth residents and businesses through social media. Cranford's flag raised over $50,000 from the residents, which was used to support local businesses to supply first-line responders and healthcare workers with food, supplies, and drinks. Flag currently exists in Cranford, Garwood, Summit, Westfield, and Rahway. And the Cranford flag has provided the Kennewick Police Department with the garlic rose for dinner and bakery cookies last Friday at lunch. So it's a great thing, and we'll be involved in it as well. Lastly, there's a new addition to the PBA family. Parents Sean and Caitlin Kavrick welcomed their first child, Reagan Francis Kavrick, on April the 30th. Reagan weighed in at 8 pounds and 4 ounces and 18 inches long, and all are home and healthy. And congratulations to Sean and Caitlin. And that's all I have, Mayor.
Very nice. Thank you, Councilman Clementi. Planning and zoning, Councilman Shelkey.
Thank you, Mayor. Planning, zoning, and construction report for April 22nd, 2020. The Planning and Construction Office has been operational during this pandemic time, with staff both in the office and working from home, really coming in and going out. However, beginning this week, we started to have employees back in the office. Anna has been working on Monday and Tuesday, and Ellen covers the office Wednesday through Friday. Thank you to everybody that's doing just a tremendous job for us in those departments. To date, there's been a lot of questions about the Blackthorn property. It's our understanding that the property was sold to a crane manufacturer and sales operation. A week or so ago, a construction fence was placed around the property and demolition of the deck and other ancillary structures began. Unfortunately, there were no demolition permits applied for, so the borough has placed a stop work order on the site until the proper permits are obtained. As of the beginning of this week, there was no application for a demolition permit or any other permit received. And that's my report, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Shelkey. Recreation and Fire, Councilwoman Tsiri.
Thank you, Mayor. Recreation, our Easter hunt egg went very well. We were able to distribute to 95 families, where 180 children were able to participate in the Easter egg hunt, which was delivered to their door. Our summer camp, as we know right now, is still up in the air as things go. We will I can't even think straight. All right. We will revisit that when the governor sets his priorities straight, and we'll see what happens with that. It depends on the school. And that's all I have for recreation. Fire and rescue, we need to really thank our EMTs, our first responders. They have been doing a great job. Chief Kruger says he couldn't have a better squad going out and responding, and they're right there. The girls are staying over. It's a good thing, because I mean, their schools are closed, so they're able to devote the time. However, you know, they are college kids, a lot of them, and but they're staying there, and they're responding to the calls, and they're doing what they have to. Our first responders they're really doing a great job, and it's been shown by Chief Kruger. Thanks everyone for the donations of food and everything that has come into the fire department. You know, he says there's been so many things brought in. It's just amazing. Easter Bunny did his drive around on the fire truck on Easter Day, and it was greatly appreciated. Also, the fire department, rescue squad, and police department, they celebrate birthdays and, you know, our sadder moments by going by and recognizing birthday, you know, events. Let's just put it that way. And they're right there. They're doing things, and they're just holding their own, and they're doing well. And actually, that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman Tsiri. Health, Education, and Human Services, Councilman Ladati.
Thank you, Mayor. What I've been investigating and looking at are senior programs through the county and, through the state. And we worked on Meals on Wheels. And, again, the congruent sites are still closed and they're not going to be open, for a while. But you can get delivery at home by calling 908-486-5100. I spoke to them today. I told them I was from Kenilworth and asked them about deliveries, and they said, just call. The next is the paratransit that our seniors depend on a lot and are handicapped. Only life-sustaining medical issues will be transferred, even on the Route 22 line for the paratransit. You could dial the regular paratransit number to see if you're okay. Next is the homeless. Just call 911, not 911, excuse me, 211. And that'll get you to a social worker, and that'll take care of you. The schools, the budgets voted on April 26th. They have no date to be opened yet. The library is still the same. Just go to their site, www.kenilworthlibrary.org, to find out what kind of books you can use and borrow through virtual computers. The next is the review of the state regs for permanent cosmetic regulations. And I will follow through with that tomorrow and see what the health department is saying. And I'll get back to Councilman Shelkey on that. One thing that the health department wrote on is store owners in Kenilworth not doing the right thing, not following the regs from the governor. People are handling food. People are, grouping inside the store. And so violations are being issued, and that's still going to be looked at. And that's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you, Councilman Ladati. For council consideration is the consent agenda. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Councilman Ladati, seconded by Councilwoman Tsiri. All in favor?
Aye.
Resolutions 1 to 8 are listed on the consent agenda and will be enacted by one motion. Resolution number 3 was pulled from the consent agenda. All items will be recorded individually in full in the minutes. Councilwoman Cesari,
Yes.
Councilman Clementi,
Yes.
Councilman David,
Yes.
Councilman Ladati,
Yes.
Councilman Lopez,
Yes.
and Councilman Shelkey.
Yes.
That's all I have this evening, ma'am.
Thank you. Well, we have a proclamation tonight in honor of Paul Parsons. Paul Parsons began his career with the Borough of Kenilworth on July 1st, 1997 as tax assessor. And Paul has rendered distinguished service to the borough for over 22 years, demonstrating the highest standards of integrity and professionalism, applying his expertise and sound judgment to the policies and the laws governing the responsibilities of the tax assessor. And Paul has been characterized by his and colleagues as hardworking, dedicated, honest, supportive, a wealth of knowledge, always keeping a positive attitude, one who leads by example, has a great sense of humor, and has shown the utmost dedication, being always available to his colleagues and public while away from the office. And the borough is indebted to Paul for his hard work, negotiations with sharing, and subsequently Merck to the benefit of the Kenilworth residents. That the council of the Borough of Kenilworth hereby recognizes and honors Tax Assessor Paul Parsons for his service and leadership, and further, that the council offers its congratulations and best wishes to Paul. I, Linda Karlovich, Mayor of the Borough of Kenilworth, County of Union, and State of New Jersey, on behalf of the citizenry, extended my personal best wishes upon his retirement for continued success in his life's pursuits. May God continue to bless Paul and his family. I hereby set my hand on this 22nd day of April in the year of our Lord 2020. Congratulations, Paul. We wish you a long and happy retirement. Thank you for your service to the borough. Grateful to you. Thank you. All right. I'd like a motion to open the floor to the public, please.
Motion.
Second.
Motion made by Councilman David, seconded by Councilwoman Cesari. I apologize. All in favor?
Twice.
Aye.
Aye.
In accordance with the meeting notice for remote meeting protocol during the COVID-19 public health emergency, no emails were received from the public.
Okay. I would like a motion to close the floor to the public.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Councilman Clementi, seconded by Councilman David. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Does anyone else have anything to say for the good and welfare of the borough?
I just want to congratulate Paul Parsons as well. He's been great for the town. He's going to be sorely missed, but again, happy and long retirement for Paul.
Excellent. I concur. I'd also like to add that I'm grateful that our Councilman David is feeling better and back, and it's great. You look great.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm sure.
Oh, he's blushing.
I'd like to thank Laura, AJ, and Joe for having these Zoom meetings look so good and work so great. You know, that's amazing. You know how well they did. So thank you, Laura.
That's for sure, definitely.
Thank you, Laura.
Okay. If there's anything else, anyone? Okay. If there's nothing else to be brought before the council, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So
Motion.
moved.
Motion made by Councilman David, seconded by Councilman Ladati. All in favor?
Aye.
Excellent. Thank you very much, everyone. Stay safe and stay well.
Thank
Alrighty.
Good night, everybody.
You too, Mayor.